Hi guys, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how the blend tool and the blur tool works on Ibis PaintX, and also techniques to blend colors really nicely and perfectly. So without any further ado, let's just jump right in. Okay guys, so this right here, I actually did a video on skin shading. If you haven't watched it already, go ahead, watch that video. I'll link it down in the description and all of the videos that I have on Ibis PaintX. Okay, so here we have our blank canvas. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay down two colors and I'm just going to show you how this brush actually works. So I'm going to be using this airbrush and just going to be selecting some random colors, and also going to be increasing the size of the brush. Okay, so now that we have two colors ready with us, the first thing we are going to be looking at how these tools, or how the smudge brush or the blur tool works. So first we are going to be looking at the smudge tool, and I'm just going to increase the size of it and also the opacity also, just because you want to see how this brush works. So when I go from blue to yellow, you guys can see the brush is actually moving the pixels from blue to yellow, and it is actually making the blue color overlap the yellow color. And when we do this from left to right, from yellow to blue, it actually moves the pixels from yellow to blue, and the yellow color is overlapping the blue color. I hope this is making sense. So that's basically what these smudge brushes do, and on Procreate also the smudge tool works the similar way. So what I like to do is, because if you are using it as it is, like with this increased opacity, you're not gonna get good results, because when you do this, you guys can see it is creating this spiral kind of thing, which we do not want, right? We don't want this. We don't want this, right? This is too much and too harsh. So what I like to do is I like to decrease the opacity of the brush, and what I do is I just slowly go over the intersection of these two colors, where these two colors are kind of meeting each other, and I just use this brush in this circular motion. Now as you guys can see, it is looking harsh, but it is not that harsh as we just saw, right? You can also just decrease the size, and depending on the type of artwork you're doing or the area that you're painting, just decrease or increase the size of the brush and just go in this circular motion. And once you have this, start blending the harshness in the similar way. Just go in this circular motion over the harsh looking edges that you have. So that's how I basically blend. I don't know why. I personally think the blending tool we have on Procreate works better. I have used it multiple times, even though I try to avoid using any blend tool when I'm painting anything, but whenever I do use it, I think Procreate has a better blending tool. Sorry you guys, but it is what it is. This is also good. You can also use it. It's not bad or anything. It's just that it's not as the one we have on Procreate, but you can still manage with it. You can still work with it. So this is the technique, okay? Just decrease the opacity of the brush and then just go in this circular motion where the two colors are meeting each other, and then just start blending it. Now just look at the blur tool, because there is a lot of confusion between the smudge tool and the blur tool. So I just want to show you guys what the blur tool really does. So here we have the blur tool. I just want to make sure the opacity is up to the max so that we can see what this tool is doing. So as you guys can see right away, this brush actually makes the whole color thing very smooth and kind of blurry and kind of hazy. That's what it is for. So if you want to blur the background or something like that, just use this tool to blur your background out. This brush is working so nicely that you don't really have to have a whole different feature of adding a blur effect to your painting. You just go ahead and just blur the background like this. Just look at it, it looks so good. And also depending on how the intensity of the blur that you want, you can just adjust the opacity of the brush, and that's amazing. I think the blur tool Ibis Paint has is really great. So that's what we use the blur tool for. This is not really for smudging or shading, but to just blur out the backgrounds or anything of that sort. I know this is really self-explanatory, everybody knows what blur tool is, but just in case if you don't know, that's what it is. Okay, so another technique that I use to blend two colors together without using any smudge tool is, let me just show you guys. So what I do is, okay, now let's just say if you want to blur it out but we don't want to use any smudge tool. So what you want to do is, first you want to pick up the blue color. I'm just going to pick up this blue color. I hope this was the color, I'm not sure. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just increasing the size of the brush, and also now don't worry about the opacity, keep it up to the max, and just go over where the two colors are meeting really light-handed and in circular motions like this. I'm being really gentle onto the screen. I'm not putting much pressure while I'm doing so, and I'm moving towards the blue color when I'm doing so that any harsh edges from yellow color can be merged with this blue color nicely. So as you guys can see, it is already looking good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to this orange color. Now just going to decrease the size of the brush, and we are going to be going over some harsh edges, but again really light-handed. So as you guys can see how well this technique was able to blend these two colors, you know, this is much better than using any blend tool or smudge tool. So that's how I basically shade, no matter what software I'm using. If I'm using Procreate, Sketchbook, Ibis Paint, doesn't really matter. I just use this technique to shade and blend. I rarely use any smudge tool. So I would highly recommend you guys to practice this technique. This comes with practice. Practice it, and just incorporate this technique in your painting process, and this will actually really make your whole painting process, and it will also make the whole painting look so nice and effortless. So yeah, that was it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video and found it helpful, and let me know down in the comment section below if you use smudge tool, if you don't use it, just your thoughts on smudging and blending. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. Give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want me to create more and more Ibis Paint tutorials. And yeah, if you do create something out of my tutorials, then tag me on Instagram. I'll link it down in the description. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.